Welcome back to the United Center. Ray Clay, the familiar public address voice of the Chicago Bulls, running down the introduction of the New York Knicks. Let's pick it up.
A 6'4" guard from Illinois, Derek Harper. And the other guard from Oklahoma State, 6'5", John Starks. The New York Knicks are coached by Jeff Van Gundy, assisted by Don Chaney, Jeff Knicks, and Bob Salmi. The trainer is Mike Saunders.
They have won 5 straight, 9 of the last 10 here in Chicago. 33-0 overall. They've won 40 straight at home in the regular season. That dates back to last year. And earlier, our Al Troutwick talked about that streak with John Starks of the New York Knicks and asked John, would it be special to come in here and end that Bull scheme?
No question. That's on our mind. But we know what we're facing coming in here. You know, they say it's sort of a revenge factor from the game on Sunday. I think, you know, we come out and do the necessary things that as we've been successful the last 4 or 5 ball games, then we had an in Chicago streak.
All the Knicks have to do is put together 2 halves like they did in the first half of their other visit here on December 6th, when the Knicks were leading at halftime significantly. And the Knicks certainly are coming in here, Marv, with the right frame of mind. They couldn't be in a better frame of mind than they are right now.
The Knicks coming off the impressive win last night at Madison Square Garden against the Indiana Pacers, a game that saw them shoot 53% from the field. Spike Lee was on hand last night, and a road trip for Spike, who is courtside for the Knicks and the Bulls, who are about to meet for the final time this regular season. Bulls have won 2 of the previous 3. Bennett Salvatore, Ed F. Rush, and Tony Brothers are the officials. Longley and Ewing on the opening tip, and it's controlled by the Knicks. Derek Harper, who had a strong game in New York against Chicago, played by Michael Jordan. Here's John Starks. Oh. And on the back tap, handled by Anthony Mason.
John wasn't set for that jumper, rushed it a bit.
Starks being played by Harper. Here's the double on Ewing. And a reach-in foul is called. Foul committed by Scottie Pippen. So Scottie back in the lineup after missing 5 games. He's had an assortment of injuries. Probably what has hurt him most recently is the ankle sprain. Also a knee problem, lower back difficulties. Ewing going baseline. And deflected out by Longley. Patrick Ewing had an excellent game in New York March 10th in the blowout of the Bulls, but was severely outplayed by Longley in the previous game at the Garden. It will be interesting to see how Michael Jordan plays it. I know, John, you mentioned last night during our telecast could be one of those games where he tries to explode and take it all upon himself. Nice move by Longley, but blew the reverse.
Already Pippen has an effect with that offensive rebound with his great quickness. Yes, Marv, I feel that Michael might do that now with Pippen back. He might get more into the team concept, but nobody can carry this team with Phil Pippen's shoes. So Jordan, without Pippen being effective tonight, could go big time.
Longley with the rejection on Mason. Good save by Hopper, who landed on the Knicks bench. Jordan tried to put the move on Starks, who was able to stay right with him. Longley. I love to get Luke Longley involved early. Kukoc, and that's the first bucket of the game.
Kukoc, we must remember, is coming in. The Knicks, more importantly, must remember, is coming in with great confidence as well. He's been on a major role, as we mentioned before.
Kukoc defending against Mason. Hopper, and a foul is called, a blocking foul. Luke Longley collecting his first. The Chicago Bulls last played Tuesday night here at home, and they beat Sacramento 89-67. Hopper fouled in the act. Will shoot a couple. I mentioned the game against the Bulls at the Garden, March the 10th. Derek Hopper instrumental in helping to blow it open in the third quarter. 9 of 13 overall, 23 points, 4 from downtown, including all 4 three-pointers coming in the third quarter.
It was a remarkable long-range shooting performance.
Longley. So the Bulls with a 4-1 lead.
You mentioned Longley outplaying Ewing last time here. It was 14 points and 10 rebounds, Marv, and Patrick's got to respect that jump shot of Longley, even though he's been in a major slump lately.
Mason. And Jordan got a hand on it, able to back tap. Kukoc. Jordan with the open three.
No defender within 12 feet of him.
And a technical foul, perhaps a double technical, called by Bennett Salvatore, who has just told Phil Jackson to sit down. Double technical on Pippen and Hopper. Pippen and Hopper got involved, and Bennett Salvatore wanted to put an end to it quickly. But Phil Jackson, upset, felt it should have been only on Hopper. Patrick Ewing with his first field goal, and it's the Bulls with a 7-3 lead.
Ewing set up beautifully by Hopper, who initiated with the penetration, drew the attention.
Nice play by Hopper to break up that pass, but a foul is called.
Oh, Bennett Salvatore's being a little rough now on Scottie Pippen, it appears.
And that is the second called on Pippen. And here's Bill Weddington, who missed the last game against the Knicks with an ankle sprain, replacing Scottie Pippen. A very brief stint for Scottie.
You know, a day in the life of an official, Marv, means that he can't allow himself to be intimidated by superstars. And the way that Bennett Salvatore made that call showed that he isn't, because certainly Pippen is needed and is a star.
Crowd wanted a travel called on Ewing. Starks taking it hard to the basket and then released to Ewing. So the Bulls lead 7-5. And Salvatore asked that we say hello to his son, Jeff, who is in a hospital in New York. Nice move by Ron Hopper. Jeff Salvatore recovering from successful shoulder surgery. Starks hits the three. And I wanted to say hi. Jeff at Columbia Presbyterian in New York. He's not trying to get Jeff's attention by calling the double technical. We should point out.
Nice segue, though. We wish him Jeff well.
Bulls by 1. 4 minutes gone by. Longley's pass picked off by Starks. Starks with the delivery to Hopper. What a catch by Hopper that was slightly off the mark, but he was able to show the good hands and then put it away.
He's got long fingers and very sure hands.
The Knicks 10 and the Bulls 9. Jordan around Mason, the reverse block, and a foul is called on J.R. Reed. He thought it was a clean block. That'll put Michael on the line. Michael Jordan leading the NBA, averaging 31 points per game. He is 4th in steals, averaging 2.5 steals per ball game.
He was typically the leader of the team the other night in a weird game against Sacramento. Sacramento was 67 points in that game. Totally the second lowest point total for an opponent of the Bulls in their history. One of the many skills that Jordan evidences game in and game out is his defensive intensity, and he's 4th in the league in steals.
So the Bulls lead by 1. And Hopper hesitated, stepped over the line in a discussion with Mason after he turns it over. He did not realize that Mason was not ready for the ball. Here's the inbounds. I should say Hopper did not realize that Mason was throwing the ball into a very sloppy exchange on the inbounds pass. But the Bulls could not take advantage, and the Knicks get it back. Seven and a half remaining in this first quarter. Bulls by 1. Knicks have hit their last 4 shots. Ewing rejected by Wennington. Kukoc given the time. And Ewing with the rebound. John Starks, who had a terrific game last night against the Pacers. Patrick Ewing. Ewing last night 31 points in his 40 minutes, and he's off to the good start here. Patrick Ewing 3 of 5 from the field. The Knicks lead by 1, and the Bulls take a timeout. Chicago, we were discussing a moment ago that this very well could be the type of game where Michael Jordan explodes for a big number. And earlier I talked with Michael and asked, could this be a 50-plus performance tonight?
Well, you never really know. I think I'm going to go out and try to feel the tempo of the game, and certainly I'm going to try to pick up where the team is lacking, and if that's offense, then I will be more aggressive in that area. But if it's other areas, then certainly I'm going to try to cover that too. But being with Scottie's back, I'm not going to be asked, hopefully not, to carry as much in terms of load. But if so, I'm going to be prepared to do so.
So it could be one of those nights.
Any night could be one of those nights.
Well, as Michael Jordan says, any night could be one of those nights. He gets the friendly roll for his second field goal. He has 7 points, and the Bulls are up 13-12.
Talk about delivery on cue. Michael has a very great sense of entertainment, I must say.
J.R. Reed trying to shake off Bill Wennington. A strong move by Reed, who had a good one last night against the Pacers. Knicks by 1. 5:40 to go in this opening quarter. And here is Jordan for 3. And a loose ball foul called. Foul on Longley. That is his second, so 2 apiece on Longley and Pippen. Pippen sat down in a hurry. And Longley will join him on the bench. Dickie Simpkins will come on, replacing Luke Longley. 6'9", 248-pound Simpkins in his second season out of Providence, a #1 draft pick of the Bulls last year. Starks off the mark. Kukoc fires it down. Hopper back. Jordan. And the Bulls lead by 1 So 9 points for Jordan. Screen and roll for Mason, but did not look to shoot. Instead, a pretty dish for Starks.
Good timing by Starks, too, on the cut, so Mason got him at the right moment.
The usual capacity crowd here at the United Center, better than 21,000 on hand, the 420th consecutive sellout. Kukoc, I think he was surprised he was able to get that deep and then called for the offensive foul.
Funny thing is, he had such a clear move to the hoop if he used his right hand, and he just kept pushing left while committing the foul, but it was all clear to the right.
The Knicks 16 and the Bulls 15. Just under 5 minutes left in the first. Harper for three. Yes. Derek Harper, who hit on the 4 3-pointers the last time these two clubs met, able to hit from downtown, and the Knicks have opened up a 4-point lead.
Harper in trouble with Winnington down low.
Simpkins. And rebounded by Wellington. So another 24 for the Bulls. Wellington lost sight of that pass. Starks for Mason, who drew the crowd. Here's Starks. And Toni Kukoc going to the boards effectively in this first quarter. With Ron Harper able to penetrate. The Knicks did not react to Harper. And they now lead 19-17. Coming into tonight, the Knicks at 38 and 26. Now only a game behind Indiana. They're even in the loss column with the Pacers. Off the steal. Knicks able to get back.
Ewing hoped J.R. Reed was in the right position, but the better defense of the Bulls took Reed away from the ball.
And a hold for a hand check ball on Harper. 13 foul on the Knicks. So look at the Eastern Conference standings. You see the Knicks a game behind Indiana, game and a half in front of Cleveland, and 2 over Detroit. Indiana off tonight. They're home for Vancouver tomorrow night. Pacers have been struggling as of late. Bill Wennington has tied the game at 19.
Boy, the game has changed. Wennington, a 7-footer, hitting that jump shot like a small forward.
Reed with a series of head fakes. And again the rebound handled by Kukoc.
Knicks really don't have any force coming to the offensive boards, but the days get shorter now as Charles Oakley gets ready.
Toni Kukoc with a pretty move, a driving hook, and the Bulls lead 21-19. The hope is that Charles Oakley will be ready for either the game Sunday in Dallas or Tuesday in Houston. Knicks take a timeout.
Remember, when you're having good times with good friends and you've done your homework earlier, drink responsibly, because friends know when to say when. A reminder from your friends at Budweiser.
John, always with a sense of responsibility. That's why Johnny Hoops is a legend.
Toni Kukoc putting the ball on the floor. He can shoot long range. He's already shown the Knicks that, and he can drive that basketball. Tough player.
2:34 remaining in this first quarter. It's the Bulls 21 and the Knicks 19. Jeff Van Gundy trying to make it a record of 5-1 since taking over from Don Nelson. Knicks under Van Gundy, losing that first game in Philly, but they have won their last 4. Ewing working hard for the shot. And the rebound one-handed by Simpkins. Kukoc being played by Reed. Starks, Campbell, Harper, off it. And the foul is called. John Starks went for the steal, and it led to the drive by Harper, and the foul picked up by Ewing, who's trying to help out. For Ewing, his first. And Ron Harper to the line.
Harper has started all 67 games this season for the Bulls. Kind of a quiet assistant to Michael Jordan in the backcourt, getting his 7 points a game. But if you allow him to move to the basket, he is a monster. He's kind of like a mini Jordan, actually, when he drives that ball, because he jumps high, has great athleticism.
Staying with their starting lineup. Starks and Hopper at the guards. Ewing, Mason, and Reed up front. Ewing. And he was fouled by Wennington. Knicks had nothing going offensively, and Ewing forced to take advantage. He got the step from Wennington. I don't think that was what he intended as he began the dribble.
I don't think you'll see a play like that the remainder of the game either, Marv. I'm sure Phil Jackson disappointed that with Ewing taking 3 dribbles that no one deflected that ball from him. They were very happy to see Patrick become a ball handler, but Ewing wisely made the decision in the right direction.
Ewing last night 13 of 15 at the line. The Knicks outstanding at the line, 29 of 35 against Indiana, and in the last minute 9 for 10 at the free throw line. That is not something the Knicks have been accustomed to in recent years. It counts, and the foul. Michael Jordan will go to the line.
Well, number 23 now puts the number 23 on the scoreboard for the Knicks, giving them a 3-point lead. Now perhaps a 3-point play as well.
So Michael with 12 points to finish off a 9-1 run by Chicago, and they lead at 24-20 with a minute 35 left in the first quarter. Mason, nice pass from Hopper. Eric Hopper, who last night had 9 assists, picks one up right there. 2-point Chicago lead. Jordan now being guarded by Mason. It's giving different looks. And Michael Jordan was trying to draw the foul. He thought he had Mason out of position. Ewing. And a loose ball foul. And the call against Wennington. That is his second.
Knicks are succeeding in their offense with an up-tempo idea. They're pushing the ball quickly. They're getting up court well and moving it. They're still not into a good, solid offensive flow yet. But that's not easy against a very difficult defensive team like the Bulls. But they've got to get into a better flow of moving that ball and spreading the floor out.
Willie Anderson checked in for John Starks. John 2 of 5 from the field. 5 points, 4 assists. The game is tied at 24 as we come up on 1 minute remaining in this first quarter. The Knicks and the Bulls from Chicago meeting for the 4th and final time this regular season. Michael Jordan with 14 points, 14 of Chicago's 26.
Boy, he got up very high on that jump shot.
Mason following the series of fakes, able to slice his way, and then rebounds. Like Simpkins got a piece of it. Hopper on a quick release for 3. And the foul committed by Reed. That is his second, and the Knicks are over the limit.
Mason, as we know, is very strong around the basket. However, he's got to realize, too, when he gets stopped in the initial move to the hoop and all of a sudden has 2 defenders on him and the clock is ticking, he can't stay with the move. Most of the guys around him are 3 inches taller than him, and it's better to give the ball up at that point.
Ron Hopper, who is usually a solid free throw shooter, 73% for the season, has 0 for 3 here in the first quarter at the line. Michael Jordan will get a rest. J.R. Reed sitting down. John Starks back. Steve Kerr and Judd Bushler check in. So Jordan with 14 points. 14 of the Bulls, 27. Half minute left. In this first quarter, some light pressure being shown by Chicago. And a very light foul call being made on Simpkins. And it will be for 2 shots with Chicago over the limit.
Phil Jackson not happy about that call.
Herb Williams getting set to check in. Williams comes on for Ewing. Ewing departing with 7. Michael Jordan is back for this potential final offensive burst of the first quarter by Chicago with 24 seconds remaining of the quarter. Tells us Phil Jackson feels every possession critical. Bulls by 2 as Jordan handles and will set up for a final shot now being played by Anderson.
I wonder who's going to take the final shot, you know.
Right down to 10.
He's been known to give it off in midair though.
And this time he lost it, but deflected out by the Knicks with 4 2/10 seconds to go in the quarter. And Bushler will throw in. Gets it to Jordan. Able to work his way through, and it's Whittington taking the final shot and hitting. So Bill Whittington showing the outside touch. And after 1 here in Chicago, the Bulls 27, the Knicks 25.
Final.
Back at the United Center, correction on the score. The scoreboard incorrect as the first quarter concluded. That is correct now. Bulls 29 and the Knicks 25 off that last second jump shot by Bill Whittington, set up by Michael Jordan.
Well, you know Jordan's going to make the decision, if not take the shot, but he has the great ability when he knows that he's under a lot of pressure to give the ball up to the open man. And as he does right now, this is a play we've seen Jordan make involving Bill Whittington in the past as well.
So the second quarter getting underway. Randy Brown, good defensive player in his 5th NBA season out of New Mexico State, has come on. That's Brown with the ball. Brown and Kerr in the backcourt along with Jordan, Simpkins, and Whittington. Bulls by 4 as Jordan fires. You know, John, I think this will be one of those nights. I talked about it with Michael earlier. You suggested it last night that he has to take more responsibility with the situation being what it is here for the Bulls, particularly with Scottie Pippen, who did make his return tonight, going down quickly after picking up the 2 fouls and a technical foul, so he has been sitting it out. Shot clock is down to 2. Mason, oh, nice move by Anthony Mason, and the Bulls now lead 31-27. Jeff Van Gundy has set on Charlie Ward. He has Ward and Starks in the backcourt. Offensive foul is called on Brown.
Well, it looked like it was going to be a foul on the aggressive Starks, but his aggressiveness brought about that foul by Brown. John Starks with a terrific play. Tremendous hustle.
Ward and Starks at the guards with Anderson, Williams, and Mason up front. Herb Williams over Bill Whittington. And Michael Jordan starts back. Overthrows Dickie Simpkins.
Knicks have been getting nothing done below the foul line with their big men. Ewing got quiet. The team went away from him in the mid and latter part of the first quarter. And they got to reestablish the fact that they have a middleman who can do some scoring.
Knicks 9 of 23 from the field in the opening quarter. The Bulls 12 for 20. Bulls out-rebounded the Knicks 14-8. Charlie Ward with a 3-pointer from deep. And Charlie's been hitting from long range. So Ward with his first field goal attempt and able to hit from downtown. The Bulls now lead by 1.
Mason now on the 7-foot Whittington. Willie Anderson's long arms are now assigned to Jordan.
And here comes Ward. Starks played by Kerr. Mason posting up. Wennington over to help. Williams. Charlie Ward not giving Steve Kerr any room, respecting the three-point shooting ability. And a foul committed by Starks. Gary Grant now checking in, replacing John Starks.
Gary Grant has been defined as the fifth guard rather, on the Knicks. Jeff Van Gundy made it clear that Charlie Ward was the man backing up Derek Harper recently. Grant had all the right responses. Very appreciative of his time here with the Knicks.
Simpkins is fouled by Williams. Gary Grant had not played the last 2 games. Played briefly last week against Minnesota, his first game action since returning to the team after being in his hometown of Cleveland because of the death of his father. Gary Grant missing 11 out of 18 games due to that illness of his dad. Here's Scottie Pippen back in, and he replaces Randy Brown. Scottie Pippen played only 3 minutes in the first quarter, picked up 2 fouls and a technical as he got involved with Derek Harper. The Bulls 32 and the Knicks 30. Trap Grant. Phil Jackson looking a bit more trap conscious here tonight. Anderson with the open shot. A three-pointer for Willie Anderson.
Good ball movement by the Knicks, who have been moving the ball very well on a good streak of late.
And a tripping foul. Mason called for his second. Jeff Van Gundy continues to provide different looks for Michael Jordan, which was successful in the game in New York. The game won by 32 points by the Knicks. Now Anthony Mason will sit down. Patrick Ewing returns, as does Derek Harper, coming on for Gary Grant. So a short run for Grant. And now the Knicks are going with Anderson guarding Jordan.
Anderson at 6'7" gives the Knicks some size in the backcourt. Bill Wennington with that side jump shot. I don't think Patrick Ewing is respecting that jump shot yet. Didn't have the hands up very high.
And Wennington is 3 of 3 from the field. The Bulls by 1. Ward. Rebound Ward. Charlie Ward, one of the better rebounding guards, was able, also has great instinct. That's certainly part of it. And he is a quick leaper. All the qualities that people like Dennis Rodman and Charles Oakley and Charles Barkley talk about, except Charlie's doing it at about, 6 foot.
Nelson certainly brought that to the attention of everyone.
Uncle Jordan with 18, 7 of 12 from the field. Bulls lead 36-35.
Jordan's great legs always can take him away from the pressure that the defense presents.
It counts and the foul. Bill Wennington called for the hack, and Patrick Ewing will go to the line. That is number 3 on Wennington, and certainly the Knicks don't mind that because Wennington's have the hot hand.
Now this amazing shot by Ewing gives the Knicks the lead once again in the game. Knicks edge up by 1 point now.
So Wennington will sit down, replaced by a recent addition to the Bulls roster, John Sally, signed to a second 10-day contract. Toni Kukoc also returns, replacing Dickie Simpkins. John Sally, who was with Toronto this season, was released, played in 25 games with the Raptors. Spent 3 years with Miami, preceded by the 6 seasons with the Pistons. Important player on the 2 championship clubs in Detroit. Steve Kerr from downtown. The Bulls lead 39-38. Pippen with a great defensive play. Deflected it off Herb Williams.
And Herb was alive even though he was out of bounds. And that ball went off him, and the Knicks lose the basketball. That was a surprise attack by the Bulls that worked.
This is a game that has already seen 14 lead changes. The Bulls have a 1-point lead. Here's Sally. And back comes Anderson.
Harper using his size, trying to get into a post-up situation, but Kukoc deters him from that.
And the quickness of Pippen again coming up with the deflection. Last touch by Ewing. Scottie Pippen can do so many different things. Not scoring, but a couple of deflections getting possession for Chicago. Kerr guarded by Ward. Guarded very physically by Charlie Ward.
So yeah, the Bulls spread the floor around so they can get Jordan loose.
Michael Jordan with the spin, and the Bulls now lead 41-38. 8 of 13, 20 points, and we have 6.5 to go in the second quarter. We should mention right here his season high 53. Patrick Ewing. And Ewing with 12 points to lead the Knicks. The Bulls lead by 1. Pippen rejected. And Harper's pass sailed wide.
Herb Williams sent that shot away by Pippen. Herb had 4 of the Knicks' 5 shot blocks last night against Indiana. Is doing what comes naturally. Pippen's back for the first time. Rodman's out, so he's turning it on the Knicks now. Willie Anderson having to deal with this whirlwind. Jordan amazing. Let's go back to March 28th now, 95 at Madison Square Garden. Jordan with the huge night, the 55-point night, and he was red hot. He loved it. The Garden was rocking, and Jordan was just turning it on. That was the game-winning shot. Everybody thought Jordan one-on-one was going to take the shot. He did it with Wennington. He did it tonight at the end of the first quarter as well. Jordan drawing the attention of the defense. Wennington hits the open jumper off that nice pass.
6 minutes remaining in the first half. Marv Albert, John Andres, Al Troutwood with us here in Chicago. And the Bulls lead 41-40. Making 43-40 off the slam by Kukoc.
Full court pressure again by the Bulls.
This is something the Knicks did not see on a regular basis in the earlier meetings. The Bulls can be so effective, as you see right there. Scottie Pippen picked it off, but not able to save it.
Phil Jackson knows that Ewing and Herb Williams, 2 of the 5 on the court, are not ball handlers. Willie Anderson out there, so they're trying to attack, and Charlie Ward, you know, a young player on the court, and Jeff Van Gundy responds accordingly now with a lineup change.
Ewing now guarded by Sally. Harper for 3. And back comes Jordan. As Kerr and Pippen on the wing. Kukoc. And took a hit from Starks. To Starks, his second. The Knicks committing their 4th team foul. Anthony Mason getting set to return. And now being waved on, replacing Herb Williams. So the Knicks now have Ewing with Mason, Anderson, Starks, and Harper.
Ball handling is the need for the Knicks now, and that's why Mason's back.
And Mason defending against Kukoc. Pippen for Jordan.
So Jordan always keeps his body between the ball and the defense.
Just under 5 minutes remaining.
John Starks was pleading for the basketball from Willie Anderson. Willie ignored him.
Pippen for 3.
Once again, Marv, the Knicks have got to establish Ewing, who's now being guarded by John Sally. Ewing turning to the official as Sally's bumping him. Ewing's getting angrier.
Ewing with the pick. Starks.
Knicks are not playing with Ewing enough.
John Sally on the drive. He thought there might be a foul. The Knicks were looking from the other point of view for an offensive foul, but the basket counts and no call made. The Bulls now lead 45-40. Anderson working off the screen, and Jordan saw it coming. Look out, Michael Jordan.
John Starks telegraphs his passes. And you know what? People know about it around the league, and Jordan did on that play.
Standing ovation for Jordan, who now has 22. And the Knicks call for time. Jeff Van Gundy trying to make it 2 out of 2 against the Chicago Bulls in his very young reign as a head man of the Knicks. We talked earlier with Phil Jackson, and I asked about the Knicks turnaround under Van Gundy.
Well, this team has to be motivated. I mean, they basically, mutinized. There was a mutiny on Bounty. So, they've got to perform now. They have to stand behind Jeff and do a job. And they've had all home games, right? Since the first one he lost.
As Jeff says, lots of ats coming up.
Yeah, and this next sequence is going to be very interesting for them. And I think that this is a ball club, after they face their first couple of adversity things, that Royals, Mason, or Starks, whatever happens in those kind of situations, that a la Dennis Rodman type things, if they can handle that, the adversity, they're a team to be reckoned with. They have the talent and they have the experience.
Well, Phil Jackson saying it was a mutiny, referring to the circumstances surrounding the departure of Don Nelson. Jordan gets inside. Nice pass from Sally. Major contributions from John Sally. Scored a second field goal a moment ago, and a pretty pass for the assist, and the Bulls now lead by 51-40.
The Knicks' defensive intensity isn't high enough. They're being beaten in one-on-one matchups. Sally beating Ewing, and a moment ago, Jordan getting inside Willie Anderson.
Patrick Ewing unleashing a three-point shot. Jordan with the move on Anderson. Yes. Michael Jordan with the pull-up and line drives it home, leading to another Knick timeout. It's a 20-second timeout, and Jordan has 26 points.
Well, the Knicks are feeling the pressure big time now as Jordan keeps rising. A look at Jordan over the last couple of hoops. He got in front of Willie Anderson. The offensive man gets in front of the defensive man. He's got 2 points. Jordan suggests the drive, and his great ability to stop on a dime and hit that jump shot made it look so easy. Marv, the remarks of Phil Jackson were really countered in some ways by the remarks of Jeff Van Gundy. Today's papers. Jeff, I'm quoting him, "I'm convinced that this team is a championship caliber team if and only if our attitude stays strong. It's got to be our attitude is strong and then our game is solid. Can't be the other way around." So the Knicks under pressure have to pull together and not separate. They're under pressure right now in a basketball sense.
Those comments made after the win over Indiana last night. Jordan skying for the rebound. 12-0 run by the Bulls. Knicks scoreless the last 4.5. Jordan trying the three. Kerr for three. And the Bulls able to break it open. They lead 56-40. A minute 25 remaining. First half. Ewing fouled by Jordan. 15-0 run by the Bulls. Recall that game in New York 10 days ago. The Bulls with that 17-1 run to get back into it, but the Knicks were able to respond.
Well, look at Jordan on this rebound. I mean, the crowd oohed and awed on that rebound. He really looked from ground level like he was way above the rim.
Here is Reed. And again, Jordan. That's rebound number 8. 11 of 18 from the field. 26 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists.
Dennis Rodman.
Sally again. John Sally.
You know, Marv, there is no anger in the Knicks play. Not that they have to be angry, but the intensity isn't there. They're getting run over.
Foul committed by Ron Harper. Yes, this is reminiscent of, well, at least the first game under Jeff Van Gundy at the Spectrum in Philly, and certainly several games toward the end of the Don Nelson run. We are not seeing the passion and the intensity. Well, this was a close game most of the way. Bulls able to break things open with the 15-0 run. But Michael Jordan has come out, as we suggested he might, and he's just taken charge of this first half with the 26 points.
It's interesting how he's done it too. You can't say he's the man only in offense either. The totals tell you that, but there is still a team look to the Bulls' attack.
Yes, you rarely see him forcing the shot. It's like every shot is a good shot. Sally, and a foul is called. Foul on J.R. Reed. This is a Chicago team that is gunning for win number 60. To win 70 games, which is the goal, the magic number, the Bulls have to finish at least 11-5, which is certainly within range. It is a very favorable schedule coming up. Most wins in a season. The Los Angeles Lakers of 71-72 went 69-13. The Lakers of Wilt Chamberlain, Jerry West, Gail Goodrich. Philadelphia 66-67 went 68-13. Pat Riley had said earlier this season you could see the Bulls winning 75, but that before the suspension of Dennis Rodman, before the injury suffered by Scottie Pippen. John Starks firing it up. The Knicks are completely out of sync. And then Ewing throws to the backcourt. They are rattled here in the latter stages of the second quarter. Derek Harper's trying to settle things down. We have 12 seconds remaining in the half. Judd Bushler checking in. John Sally hears it from the crowd. Strong effort for Sally, 6 points. Gary Grant back on the floor. Herb Williams will come on for Patrick Ewing. A 59-41 lead. The Bulls 64% from the field. And they're holding for a final shot of the half. Kukoc setting it up. Kukoc. 20-point Chicago lead. Harper. Grant. Standing ovation for the Chicago Bulls. They conclude matters in the first half with a 20-1 run. The Bulls 61 and the Knicks 41. Bob Page coming up in a moment at the MSG Sports Desk.
The Bulls by 32 points at the Garden wasn't such a good idea. Michael Jordan's got 26. The Bulls on a 20-1 run close out the first half in unbelievable fashion. A total thrill to watch Michael Jordan execute his way through that first half, completely running the offensive show. This was a game in which the Bulls had a 41-40 lead. Walt Clyde Frazier will join me, but first we send it back to New York and Bob Page. Michael Jordan, let's talk about the numbers and leave it at that. 26 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. He made 11 of 18 points. After that, it's a single-digit story. For the New York Knicks, 12 points for Patrick Ewing, 5 of 11. But something happened in the second quarter. The Knicks stopped going to him, and he stopped going inside. Derek Harper had 7, Starks with 5, Mason 5, Ward 5. Al Trawick joined by Walt Clyde Frazier. Clyde, it's amazing that the Knicks were down by 1, 41-40, and then you almost don't know what happened. All you know that is Michael Jordan happened.
Well, the ubiquity of Michael astounding them, so they could not deny Michael. Plus, they were dreadful on the offense. Ewing putting up threes, Harper bricking, Starks bricking. No one stepped up on the offense.
It was an amazing show. We've got a Michael Jordan highlight package, and the highlights are brought to you by Minolta, the official camera of the Garden. First, the Spinorama.
Yep, he can shake and bake. That's why he leads the league in scoring, 31 a game.
Number 2 is the Steal-A-Rama.
He's also among the leaders in looting. Starks will telegraph this pass. Michael coming up with it, wondering now, what should I do? So he decides on the tomahawk stuff.
I think we'll call this one, Clyde, the Reverse-A-Rama.
All right. John Sally with the pass, Michael with the scoop. Sally has been instrumental in the game as well.
And finally, the Coast-to-Coast-A-Rama.
He also bounds and astounds. He's only 6 feet, folks, about 215. People think he's a 7-footer, but Michael's a little shorter than that, averaging 6 bounds. Right here, they should look to double team him. Nobody does, so he pulls up for the jumper as well.
Once again, the highlight package brought to you by Minolta, the official camera of the Garden. Well, you be good on the radio, Clyde.
All right.
The Knicks down by 20, but you've got to stay and see what Michael Jordan has in store for them. It's payback time for that 32-point defeat they suffered at the Garden.
Grant
Night could be one of those nights, and this looks like it is one of those nights. He has 26 points here at halftime, only 2 days removed from an anniversary of sorts, the anniversary of his return to basketball. 367 days ago, Chicago's dream became a headline around the world. Michael Jordan had had enough of the Birmingham Barons and life without hoops. He was back. His return at Market Square Arena became a mega event that transcended the term regular season game. From the anthem to the introductions, his every move was followed. The NBA was smiling, and so was Michael Jordan, wearing number 45. And there were so many different moments to anticipate, like his first shot, which he missed, and a layup, which was off the rim. Yes, the return wouldn't be complete until he scored the first 2 of what became a 19-point game. Since his return, the Bulls are 77-11. Let's go to Marv Albert and John Andres.
All right, Al, third quarter underway with the Bulls up 61-41. The Bulls shot 14 of 20 from the field in the second quarter. The Knicks only 6 of 19 as their offense went south. Chicago with a 20-1 run to conclude matters in the second quarter. It was a 41-40 game at one stretch. Harper hits from downtown.
One of the rare uncontested shots for the Knicks in the game. The defense got there, but it was too late because of the good ball movement by the Knicks.
Michael Jordan leading the way with 26 points. He is the only Bull in double figures, and the foul is called on Starks. So John is third. A look at the Toyota matchup, which is obviously all Jordan. In effect, Michael has been going up against a number of Knicks, so it's not really a Starks-Jordan matchup per se, because the Knicks are showing all kinds of different looks. Again, the offensive rebound handled by the Bulls. And now Starks in the open floor with Jordan back.
Jordan get down low in that defensive position on John Starks.
Starks for 3, way off. Did not look at the basket. Now Jordan putting the move on Starks, who just backed away. Did not want to be posterized.
Well, I've never thought of it this way, Marv, but that was a Jordan power stuff. He knew he could go over John, and he almost waited and invited the contact.
And a 20-second timeout called, and it looks like Jeff Van Gundy is upset with John Starks. Or at least that's about as upset as we have seen Jeff Van Gundy in his short reign as head coach of the Knicks.
Look at John's rush shot. You know, Marv, what Jordan did, though, he kind of ran under John, which is a real, you see the finish to that play is Starks didn't challenge Jordan at all. But as John went up for the shot, Jordan kind of ran under him like he was going to get him in the stomach, which he wouldn't do, but it really had a great effect on that shot.
Ewing. And rebounded by Kukoc. Toni Kukoc doing a nice job on the boards. Longley. And last touch by the Knicks.
Beautiful pass by Kukoc. He's had 18 assists in the last 2 games for the Bulls.
Jordan on the inbounds. Beautifully executed with Scottie Pippen. 30 points for Jordan. Mason is fouled. Foul committed by Michael Jordan. That is his second.
Let's look at that perfect play. Michael Jordan spreading out Reed and Ewing on that play.
So 30 points for Jordan, his season high 53, and that the season high in the NBA. Did it against Detroit March the 7th. His career high, a 69-point game against the Cavaliers.
Phil explaining to Michael how to play.
2 minutes gone by in the third quarter, and it's the Bulls by 20. Bulls come in with a 5-game win streak, 9 of the last 10 of the win column. Now Mason is guarding Jordan. Right around him goes Michael Jordan to draw the foul. And he'll head to the line.
I mean, it's depressing guarding him one-on-one. Mason is such a good defender, and Jordan just blew by him.
And Michael is 4 for 4 at the foul line. So he has hit his season average, comes in at 31 a game. And the Bulls now lead 67-45. Hopper being played by Pippen, and the call away from the ball. That is number 3 on Longley.
Longley clipped John Starks, who was coming around a Ewing pick.
Knicks with Ewing, Reed and Mason up front, Starks and Hopper in the backcourt. Hopper. Well, Derek able to go glass as he got the step. In our talk with Michael Jordan prior to the game, he said yes, the Bulls wanted to avenge that 104-72 loss at the Garden on March the 10th. Longley and Mason able to handle the back tap. And Chicago has been able to build up the huge lead. Starks, and again it's Kukoc on the rebound. But you know the Bulls would just like to blow out the Knicks thoroughly here today.
Well, you know Jordan too, Marv, as you say, he wants to do it. The Bulls want to do it, but Jordan never seethes. He never shows anger or issues threats. He just was just talking with his sneakers on.
Oh, nice move by Longley. It's interesting watching Michael Jordan from time to time, though. You say he never seethes, but he gets exasperated when Luke Longley handles the ball, and when he takes that much time. He wanted the ball back. It turned out it was a nice play by Longley to finish it off.
Yes, his displeasure is felt certainly by his teammates. That's for sure, and that's part of his intensity and his desire to win, which rubs off on every aspect of the guy's life. People that know him, like Ahmad Rashad, people who associate with him, see him in other sports and games of entertainment and fun stuff, and Jordan just always wants to win.
Reed, Jordan went for the strip, and then able to haul down the rebound. Kukoc for three. And a loose ball foul on Pippen. That is his third. It's obvious Scottie Pippen is not himself here tonight, but felt very strongly about coming out to play. Did not want the Knicks to have any advantage with that home win streak on the line. 33-0 this season here at the United Center. 40 straight overall going back to last year in terms of regular season play. Scottie he's ailing. Has the bad ankle, knee problem, bad back. But he's made his return tonight after missing the previous 5 games. And a foul is called.
Can't help but think, Marv, back 2 years when Pippen made a bad decision, asked to be taken out of a big moment of a game against the Knicks, as we recall, and the roof fell in on him. People wanted to trade him, get him out of town. Now he wants to come back earlier from an injury, and people are criticizing him for his noble cause. He wants to come back, and people are writing, you shouldn't come back. Don't come back. Jerry Krause, don't let him come back. This is wrong. And here he is, because he wants to play and wants to win.
And he hears it from the crowd as he sits down. He had picked up his 4th foul. 7:45 remaining in the third quarter. It's the Bulls 69 and the Knicks 48. Steve Kerr has come on for Scottie Pippen. Now Jordan, played by Mason. Hoffer for 3. Longley on the back tap. And the Bulls get the new 24. Now Hoffer guarding Jordan. Oh, what a pass from Longley. Blocked by Reed. Jordan with the attempted steal. What a pass from Michael Jordan. He slipped it in on Luke Longley, and he's upset. Michael upset.
That's a disappointed face. Beautiful pass to Longley. But Michael has to know, Marv, you know, 7'2" guys aren't used to quick passes like that. And that's part of it. Both have to understand.
Reed fouled. Took the hack. That's 3 on Jordan. Michael Jordan trying to get the hands in on J.R. Reed. You know he feels that J.R. once he puts the ball on the floor, very susceptible to the strip. And now discussing it with the official Bennett Salvatore.
Michael trying to reason his opinion through Bennett Salvatore, and he's not hearing what he wants to hear.
Timeout is called. We'll be right back. Eastern Conference semifinals between the Knicks and the Bulls. Phil Jackson upset with Scottie Pippen, this back in '94, as Pippen decided to sit it out the last 1 8/10 seconds because he was unhappy that the play was not called for him. Toni Kukoc then hit the big shot to give the Bulls the victory.
The reason it wasn't is Kukoc was being guarded by a much shorter man. They had so little time. It had to be pass and shoot, and the long arms of Kukoc, you know, was the right call. And of course he made the shot, making it look 100% like the right call. But Pippen's behavior resulted in the roof falling in on him as a member of the Bulls. Boy, that was a rough time.
Bulls have a 19-point lead with 5 and change gone by in the third. Simpkins, who just checked back in, rejected by Ewing. Here's Kerr, and Ewing with the rebound. Ewing, Patrick Ewing, not able to hit the jump shot, which included a 3-point attempt in the second quarter. Jordan setting up on the change of pace dribble, gets the pick from Longley. Kukoc changed his mind and then fires from 3-point range. It will be Nick Ball.
Get the feeling Jordan would prefer if Longley didn't set a pick. So Longley and the defensive man guarding Longley would get out of the way.
Mason guarded by Simpkins. Knicks not taking good shots. Just under 6 minutes remaining in the third quarter. And the Bulls with the ball and a 19-point lead. Michael Jordan, the high man with 32. Here's Kerr with the step. And a travel called on Mason.
What we're witnessing, Marv, is a total lack of leadership by the Knicks. It doesn't seem that anyone is out there with the ability to pick the team up. Not that they're going to go running by the Bulls, but there are 5 separate entities out there. That's the look of it.
Longley.
Ewing headed up court when Longley shot the ball, so Longley got his own rebound.
Starks with the steal. Not much happening at either end the last couple of minutes. Hopper. Rebound Mason. Feeding Reed. J.R. Reed. And the Bulls now lead 69-52.
Feel it costs the official on that. It appeared to be pushed by J.R. Reed with a "did you see that" expression.
Here's Jordan slicing his way through. Michael Jordan splitting through 3 Knicks. He beat Mason and then 2 more blue shirts.
And a graceful delivery off the backboard with his left hand.
Reed, yes. The Bulls 71 and the Knicks 54. Jordan now 14 of 22, 34 points. Coming up on 4 minutes to go in the third. Jordan. Oh, Kukoc able to break it up. Recovered by Starks. Look out, Jordan and Starks involved in the collision. And the foul committed by Jordan. That is his 4th.
Ewing on the pitch out, the deflection by Kukoc. Starks right there, heads up court. Jordan's in his way. Michael even lands gracefully.
Now a change of the call. No foul call. Just a clean collision if that is possible. So Jordan has 3 personal fouls. Ball was a little deflecting out of bounds. Last touch by the Bulls. Here's Simpkins. Good play by Reed to stop him. Simpkins on the follow. Stopped by Ewing and a foul.
Seemed like a late whistle too. That's very frustrating. Always is. Yet the Knicks are being beaten to the ball by quicker people time and again throughout this game.
Ewing committing his 3rd. And Dickie Simpkins will shoot 2. Here's Bill Wennington. Checking back in. Coming on for Luke Longley, who's had a very quiet night. 2 of 9 from the field, only 4 points. Luke has had some good games against the Knicks this season. (73-54) Chicago. Harper saw the opening. Kukoc with 9 rebounds. Jordan for 3. Tough angle shot from downtown. Attempted by Michael Jordan. Starks. Trying to go glass. 10th rebound for Jordan. 3 minutes to go in the third. The Bulls win the ball and a 19-point lead.
I can't help but people thinking about Dennis Rodman, all he's gotten lately. Kukoc turning the ball over on that one-on-one move, and Rodman is not needed here tonight as far as the Bulls are concerned.
Knicks call for time. We'll be back in a moment. Well, as basketball fans around the country are well aware, this past Saturday at the Meadowlands in the game between the Bulls and the New Jersey Nets, Dennis Rodman got involved with the official Ted Bernhardt. There's the headbutt. Dennis tossed from the game, led to the suspension. Earlier I talked about it with Phil Jackson, asking his reaction to the actions of Dennis Rodman?
Well, you know, I'm not upset. I would be very upset if it was in the playoffs and he was suspended for 6 games in a 5-game series. I'd be very upset if it was 6 games in a 7-game series, obviously, too. But, you know, we just can't have that happen in a situation where he's going to be a key figure in this. We have to prepare ourselves to play without Dennis in some form or fashion. We have to think about those terms.
Harvey Arrett and Marv wrote a terrific analysis of Dennis Rodman's behavior in the Times the other day, calling on Bob Hill, the coach of the Spurs, who lived with the frustrations of dealing with him. Ewing on a turnaround jump shot, right on target, and the foul. Bob Hill's statement dealing with Dennis is kind of like going to work every day with a tornado warning. But even after the bad times they had, Bob Hill went on to point out Dennis would never apologize after an infraction, but he'd always let you know he knew he was wrong. He'd come to me after I'd suspend him and say, I lost my head, fine me, more money, but let me play. And that's the deeper part of Dennis Rodman. He loves to play.
And Rodman serving game 3 of the 6-game suspension for using his head. Starks going glass. And the Knicks now down 73-58 with just under 2 minutes to go in this 3rd quarter. There's been a relatively quiet 3rd quarter from Michael Jordan. Washington. And he draws the foul, picked up by Mason. That's 3 on Mason. Michael Jordan, 26 points at the half. He has 8 here in the 3rd.
Little byplay on the court here with Michael Jordan, who got rocked, I think, by an elbow of Ewing under the basket, but they're tight, so there's never any bad feeling. And then Willie Anderson came over and said something to Jordan. Jordan smiled, gave Willie a pat on the back. John Starks addressed Jordan outside. They had a nice little brief interlude of civilized conversation. Jordan is all class, even in the great moments of heat, and no matter how badly you may be feel by playing against him, he brings out the best in you, even as an opponent.
Bulls lead 75-58 with a minute and a half to go in the 3rd. Ewing forcing the issue, but hit it. Able to bail himself out. He had nowhere to go, but hits the off-balance shot.
Amazing shot by Ewing. He would have liked a foul call in his favor after that bump.
Bulls by 15. Kerr. And apparently the ball going over the top of the glass, so it is awarded to the Knicks. And Michael Jordan hears it from the crowd. He'll get a rest right now, sitting down with 34 points.
Jordan played the entire first half, and about time he got a rest, because the Bulls are doing quite well, and it would seem he deserved a rest at this point in the game, certainly.
He's down for 24 minutes. Statistically, he actually went out. What happens in NBA statistics, you are given credit for the full minute. Remember, he went out very briefly.
Oh, yes, right.
For several seconds and then came back. Simpkins, he thought he was fouled as he rattles the glass. And the Bulls now lead 77-60 with a half minute to go in the 3rd. Ewing spinning his way. And a loose ball foul against the Knicks. Foul on Mason. That is number 4. Knicks over the foul limit. Nicky Simpkins, who has been a factor here in the 3rd quarter, will go to the line. Very tough schedule coming up for Jeff Van Gundy and the New York Knicks. Tough enough to face the Bulls in Chicago, but the 3-game Texas swing is ahead, starting Sunday afternoon against the Mavericks in Dallas. Tuesday, the Knicks play in Houston. So look at J.R. Reed, the former San Antonio Spur, who will be back in San Antonio with the Knicks on Wednesday. The Knicks return to the Garden, going up against New Jersey a week from tomorrow night and then have a game at Orlando.
One of Phil Jackson's focuses that will surface in coming weeks very soon, I'm sure, will be his concern about the energy level of his team as he looks at the end of April and the upcoming playoffs. That's his next area of focus. So he probably will be playing Jordan and Pippen a little bit less now because he wants his team to go roaring into the playoffs, even with the distraction of the hopeful 70-win season that they are aiming at.
Well, they claim that it's not effective, but it is. As this third quarter comes to an end, they want to win 7. Michael Jordan wants to have it down on the resume that he was a member of a 70-win team. We'll be back in a moment.
It is Combination Gift Shop, Chicago Blackhawks, Chicago Bull Museum. They've got all the usual stuff, the hats, the shirts, but they've also got great memorabilia, pieces of the old floor from Chicago Stadium. That's a display of the old gate 3.5 where you entered as a member of the press or the players, and they duplicated that here. For $250, they sell the seats from Chicago Stadium. They've got Blackhawks and Bulls motorcycles as well. They've got autographed memorabilia signed by Michael Jordan, a piece of the floor. You can have just about whatever you want. I couldn't leave the place, Marv.
Al, I saw John eyeing that Blackhawk motorcycle. Really had his eye on it.
I hope they stay open late, Marvin. Al.
Fourth quarter is underway, and the Bulls are up 79-60. Illegal defense called for the first time. Ron Grandison has checked in for the first time tonight. Did not play against the Pacers last night. Did a good job against the Sixers at 25 minutes off the bench on Saturday. Ewing drawing the double team, gets it out to Reed. In the third quarter, the Knicks only 7 of 21, but the Bulls were worse. 5 for 21 from the field.
It has always been the philosophy of teams playing against the Knicks to double team Ewing and risk being beaten from outside. And tonight we're seeing the price of that for the Knicks. They're just not getting good enough shooting from the outside. That was Steve Kerr.
Kerr with his third field goal, 3 of 6 from the floor, and the Bulls lead 81-60. Charlie Ward is back. Ewing. Knicks going with Ewing, Reed, Anderson, Ward, and Grandison. Michael Jordan continues to rest. Michael sitting down with 34 points. He had 26 at the half. John, I feel if this were a more competitive game, Michael would be hovering around the 50-point mark. But now it might not be necessary.
No, he's done his job, that's for sure. He's driven his team into the lead, and it wouldn't make sense for that pursuit. But you're right, if it was tight, he'd be firing away.
Scottie Pippen is stopped but hacked, and he'll go to the line. Scottie looking for his first points. Foul on Ewing. That is his fourth.
Well, if Pippen's hurting, and there were about 4 descriptions that Al mentioned right before the game where he is hurting different parts of his body, knees, back. But if he's hurting, he's certainly hiding it well because he's moving fluidly. Although it just shows you, even the great ones like Pippen, when you're away from the game for a week and a half or so, you're just out of sync. It's just amazing how demanding this sport is to play at the level Pippen's used to playing at.
Well, Scottie playing a different type of game tonight, trying to do it at the defensive end, trying to do other things, not involved in the offense the way he usually is. Bulls 83 and the Knicks 62. Knicks will have 9 on the shot clock.
Boy, Kukoc has gotten with the program as far as defensive responsibility. He's working out there. He's been a pretty impressive defensive player tonight.
Ewing firing. And a loose ball foul. It is called on Reed. So that is number 4 on Reed.
Well, the Knick offense has been turned into a one-on-one affair as they just are not moving that ball, spreading the floor, and getting any cutting out there. The Bulls have really broken the Knicks down as a team on offense.
Toni Kukoc for three. Bulls able to get back. Anderson tried the pull-up. Pippen saw it coming, nearly picked it off. Shot clock down to 5. Now to 3. Anderson.
Kukoc played him well.
Ward broke it up, but Kukoc there. And Charlie Ward moves back down. Here's Grandison. Well, Ron Grandison with his first field goal. And the Bulls now lead 83-64.
The guy is reliable. He does what you want him to do. The reason he's in a pro uniform is because of the way he can shoot that basketball, and he does it.
Michael Jordan getting set to return. Play by Kerr on the hustle. Wennington. Bill Wennington has had a solid game. 4 of 4 from the floor. He has 10 points.
Simple but effective pass by Kukoc.
8.5 remaining in the fourth quarter. Patrick Ewing. So Ewing with 20. Herb Williams getting set to return. Kukoc for 3. Following tonight, the Bulls have several days off. They will be back in action Sunday in Toronto. We were talking earlier about the favorable schedule for Chicago. 14 games in March, 10 at home, 4 on the road. The toughest game figures to be against the Orlando Magic in Orlando. Foul on Wennington, his 5th. To win 70, they have to finish at least 11-5. Most consecutive home wins, Chicago and Orlando, each with 40 straight. Both streaks dating back to last season. We're talking regular season. Bulls are 33-0 this year. The 40 wins going back to March 30th, 1995, when the Bulls won their final 7 regular United Center games. Plus the 33 this season. Grandison rejected by Sally. And Sally back on the floor, played well in the first half. Here's Sally throwing it up with the left hand and then hitting on the tip.
John with lively legs, good hustle, doing nice things out there.
Well, he's 4 of 6. He has 9 points. Bulls want to run. Kukoc does. And he's fouled.
He's on his back, but he's happy.
Foul committed by Ward. And the Knicks will take a timeout. 7 minutes, 11 seconds to go in the fourth. The Bulls 90. The Knicks 66. And it's a 20-second timeout taken by New York. The Chicago Bulls, 7 losses this season. They are 59-7. All 7 taking place on the road at Miami, Phoenix, Denver, Indiana, Seattle, Orlando, and in New York.
Know when to say when. A reminder from your friends at Budweiser.
Well, Toni Kukoc hit 1 of 2 at the line. Bulls now lead 91-66. We're just under 7 minutes remaining in this fourth quarter. Kukoc on the handoff. Basket won't count. Foul before the shot attempt called on Anderson. Phil Jackson going with his big 3. He has Jordan, Kukoc, and Pippen on the floor, along with Kerr and Sally. And a foul called as Starks and Jordan got involved. That's 4 on Starks. And the Knicks over the limit. Bulls have only one team foul. Michael Jordan to the line.
You know, Marv, with all of the focus on John Starks of late and his fine play, a lot of the attention's gone away from the man at the left, Hubert Davis, and of course Charles Oakley. Both of these guys on their way back very soon, and despite the magnificent play of the man at the foul line tonight, you know, if both of Davis and Oakley were out here, the chances are the Knicks would be in much better shape than they are right now. So one of the turnarounds that the Knicks will look forward to is their return.
Hubert Davis out with the hyperextended knee, and he is still being called day to day. Charlie Ward hits his second three of the game. Bulls 93 on the Knicks 69, and Charles Oakley with the fractured thumb. Feeling is he will make his return either Sunday against Dallas. Scottie Pippen with his first field goal. Nice quick release by Pippen. The feeling is that Oakley will be back in a uniform either Sunday against Dallas or Tuesday in Houston. Look at that differential. The Bulls killing the Knicks off the board. Charles, the one-time Chicago Bull, acquired in the deal for Bill Cartwright.
Knicks are on their way to Dallas tomorrow, so I don't think Charles Oakley's going right back to the hotel, Marv. You know, after this one. Got a lot of friends here in Chicago where he used to play.
Bulls now lead 95-71 with 5:45 remaining in the fourth quarter.
You see Jordan looked at John Starks with an interesting expression. Oh, Kukoc and Sally blows the easy one.
Pippen. Scottie Pippen beginning to feel it offensively. Was not looking for shots early. Bulls 97 and the Knicks 71. Starks fouled by Kerr. Judd Bushler getting set to come on, and he replaces Michael Jordan. So as John Starks heads to the line, let's check in with Bob Page. Bob.
At Atlanta tonight, Georgetown All-American Allen Iverson with the steal. He had 33 points to lead the Hoyas past Texas Tech 98-90 in the NCAA East Regional semifinals.
All right, Bob, 5:14 remaining in the fourth quarter. John Starks hitting the first, missing the second. So Toni Kukoc now running the offense on the floor with Bushler, Sally, Kerr, and Pippen. And Judd Bushler gets right to it. That's his first field goal. Starks having difficulty with Bushler's called for the block. And Phil Jackson beginning to empty the bench. Nicky Simpkins will check back in. Here's Gary Grant for John Starks. Phil Jackson certainly enjoying what took place here tonight. There was apprehension going into tonight's game, in particular with the uncertainty about the status of Scottie Pippen.
Also, with the performance the Knicks leveled at the Bulls in their last meeting a week ago Sunday, they were shaken up by that.
That plus the strong game by the Knicks last night and defeating Indiana at the Garden. Randleson fires one up, rebounded by Sally. 4.5 remaining in the fourth. Sally is fouled by Ward.
Well, one of the problems the Knicks have had throughout is the subject of defensive transition. They're just not identifying the Bulls early enough coming over half court. And by the time one of the Bulls players, as Sally just did, and it's happened many times tonight, gets the ball, he's already got the momentum, and he's below the foul line. He's got the ball in his hands.
John Sally having his best game as a member of the Chicago Bulls. He's played 11 minutes, 10 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. John, a native of Brooklyn. He played at Canarsie High School in Brooklyn.
He tasted world championship status with the Detroit Pistons, and he built a mansion in Detroit. But he'll come back to his roots. He's always smiling when he's at the Garden.
Here is Ward. He's hit a couple from downtown. We're just under 4 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Beautiful pass from Pippen, a backdoor lead, and Sally was fouled. Ron Sally followed it all the way. He was shoved, so could not convert, but he'll go to the line. Another look at it.
Sally dashed to the basket baseline, gets the ball beautifully, and for the second time, John misses what appears to be a layup that he should be able to handle.
Well, the Chicago Bulls made the point that they wanted to avenge the 32-point pounding at the Garden back on March 10th. And John, they're right on target. It is now a 30-point lead for the Bulls. Scottie Pippen hears it from the crowd as he will sit down.
Been a crazy series, Marv, the 4-game series now. The first game in New York in December was a 7-point difference in favor of the Bulls. The next game in Chicago here was a 20-point difference in favor of the Bulls. And the Knicks won 32 in their win, and now we're hovering around that same number again.
Foul on Bushler off the fake by Anderson, and then Judd Bushler comes over to see if Willie Anderson is all right. Bulls have to be satisfied with the performance of Pippen. 6 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Did not look to do it offensively at the start. Able to work his way back into it. Be interesting now if Scottie sits out against Toronto for the next game on Sunday. And then you will know that there was much concern about tonight on the part of Scottie Pippen and the rest of his ball club. Did not want to take any chances against the Knicks. They consider the Knicks extremely dangerous. Grant. But it has not been a good performance by the Knicks. We're not seeing the same kind of intensity. Of course, it helps to hit your shots, and that has not been the case, but not what we have seen in recent games. Brad Lohaus, who's been nursing a sore foot, not played the last couple of games. Playing here in the final minutes. We have 3 minutes remaining. Illegal defense for the second time, and a technical awarded the Knicks.
Well, I want to correct myself. The second meeting of the year with the Bulls and Knicks was in New York. That was a 20-point win for Chicago.
Yes, the Bulls won here in early December, 101-94, and then won at the Garden January 23rd by 20. And that last meeting was the 104-72 victory in Jeff Van Gundy's second game as head coach of the Knicks.
The game here in Chicago, the last visit, the Knicks had a blistering first half and enjoyed a 13-point lead at halftime.
Timeout has been called. We'll be back in a moment.
Well, following the visit to Chicago, the Knicks will want to exorcise them of the memories and move on. In the Delta Airlines schedule, we'll have the Knicks at Dallas on Sunday, an NBC game to be seen at 1 p.m. Tuesday, the Knicks go to Houston, 8 p.m. MCS Cannon game night, and Wednesday at San Antonio, an MSG2 game with MCS Cannon game night at 7:30 in San Antonio.
Foul was called on Judd Bushler, putting Willie Anderson at the line as the Knicks were calling for time. So it's a 102-77 Chicago lead. 2 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in the game. Bushler for Simpkins. Phil Jackson has gone to the bench for these final minutes. Shot clock at 1, and it's a 24-second violation. Sally not hitting the rim. Well, Phil Jackson's club will go to 60 wins, 60-7 for the season. Back at 50-6, the Bulls were able to reach 50 victories faster than any team in the history of the NBA. Loose ball foul, the call on Salad.
Phil Jackson enjoying these times as the winningest coach in regular season plays. Over 71% of his games of wins. Same thing in the playoffs. Over 70% of his experiences in the playoffs are winning situations.
Ron Grandison at the line. Phil Jackson's contract status still uncertain. Stories continue here in Chicago. You like Phil as coach of the year? You can make an argument for Phil. You can make an argument for the Czar, Mike Fratello. How about Doug Collins? The job he's done with Detroit. Bob Hill, San Antonio.
Absolutely.
George Karl.
I thought Phil should have gotten it 2 years ago, actually, when the Knicks pushed the Bulls to 7 games, or I should say the Bulls pushed the Knicks to 7 games, and they did a magnificent job without Jordan that season. Lenny Wilkins, as I recall, won it.
So tough, though, when you have the players to get the credit. That occurred with Pat Riley. He did not win Coach of the Year honors when he won championships. He finally won Coach of the Year, and then the Lakers were eliminated.
You know, Marv, the point you make tells me that Mike Fratello has to get it. I mean, they're still winning, even with all their injuries. It's unbelievable what they have done in Cleveland.
Bulls 102 and the Knicks 78. Knowing Mike, there will be cash in the envelope. Probably Federal Express. And the foul is called. Foul on Brad Lohaus. It has been a very long night for the New York Knicks, who will drop to a record of 38-27. You know, going into the 2 straight games against Indiana and Chicago, I'm certain every Knick player, the entire coaching staff, would say we'd be very happy with 1 win. And they came away with a very emotional victory. Well-played game last night at home, but can't be pleased about what has taken place here.
Listen, Knicks shooting at this point 34% in the game. And, you know, Marvin, 3 of the last 4 wins, they've shot 52%, which included the win against Chicago. So they just never got started in this game.
103-80 the score as we come up on 1 minute remaining. Grant able to tip it away. 2-on-1. He has Anderson. So the Bulls now lead 103-82. Has been extensive garbage time here in the 4th quarter. Most of this crowd has filed out. Grant again with the steal.
Actually, I have to correct myself. The Knicks did get started. They were right even with the Bulls at about 43-40, as I recall, 41-40, and then it blew open big time.
And I believe that is a 4th quarter record for corrections on your part.
I'm sinking, Marv.
I'm sick of this. No one would know the difference.
I have a conscience.
I see. That's very, very noble on your part.
There are people sitting there saying, what does he mean they never got started?
I believe the conscience is in the form of the electronic wizard, Howie Singer.
No, it's in this case, I'm getting great assistance from Howie as I point out my errors.
Steve Kerr with 31 seconds remaining. Very loyal group of fans remaining for these final minutes. The Chicago Bulls on their way to win number 60, 34-0 here at home. 41 straight regular season going back to last year. Grandison off the steal, rejected and fouled by Salad. And we're now down to 13 and 2/10 seconds left. So Ron Grandison to the free throw line.
It's going to be very difficult for the people covering the Bulls to discuss the problems of the Bulls now after this fine performance and the need of Dennis Rodman and the focus on him. He will return on April 2nd against Miami, but been a big deflation of that drama, certainly, with this performance.
Foul on Grant. Well, if they are to be a serious contender, though, for the playoff run, though, they must have Dennis Rodman back, and they can't have situations where they fear that there'll be another flare-up, that the guy will go off again.
Yes, mainly because Luke Longley has not become Bill Cartwright, who was the center of the Bulls defense in their championship runs.
Michael Jordan talking about Dennis Rodman, saying none of that should happen in the game. With basketball to constantly get thrown out of games, it's not acceptable. He's got to corral those feelings. Final seconds of the fourth. It's tipped home by Ward.
Wow, what a shot!
And that will be the final score. The Chicago Bulls 107 and the New York Knicks 86. Michael Jordan 14 of 24 from the field, 36 points in what turns out to be a methodical victory for the Bulls. They broke it open in the second quarter with that 20-1 run that ran out the second quarter and then coasted right throughout the second half. We'll have much more from the United Center in Chicago. Al Trautwig is with us. We'll have our post game in just a moment. Again, the final, the Bulls 107 and the Knicks 86.
Tonight as the Bulls look to keep basketball's bad boy on his best behavior heading to the playoffs. Chicago's Dennis Rodman came off his 6-game suspension for headbutting a referee as the Bulls travel to Miami to take on the Heat tonight. With the 5-1 record during Rodman's absence, do you get the idea Michael and the boys didn't miss Dennis one bit?